Our journey began at the very top of the world, Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. This is not a place you just stumble upon. It is a destination you must earn. The air here is thin and bites at your skin. It has a raw, untamed energy. We stood on the shores of the Arctic Ocean. The water was a deep, icy blue, stretching out to a horizon that felt infinite. This is where the Pan-American Highway truly begins. It's a place of incredible isolation. The silence is only broken by the wind or the distant hum of machinery. It's a powerful feeling, standing there, knowing that Ushuaia, Argentina, is over 17,000 miles south of you. Prudhoe Bay is more than just a starting line. It is the heart of America's oil industry. The landscape is a strange mix of raw nature and human engineering. Giant industrial facilities dot the tundra. Pipes and roads create a web across the frozen ground. This is the Prudhoe Bay oil field, one of the largest in North America. The oil pumped from deep beneath this frozen earth fuels a nation. It powers cars, heats homes, and drives economies. You can feel the weight of its importance here. This place represents a massive human effort to harness the planet's resources, for better or for worse. It's a stark reminder of our dependence on fossil fuels. Getting to the ocean itself is a challenge. The final stretch of road is not open to the public. It runs through the secure oil fields. We had to book a spot on a special shuttle bus. The process involved strict security checks. We had our IDs verified and our purpose questioned. It felt like crossing an international border, not just visiting a beach. The shuttle drove us through the industrial zone, a world of metal and steam rising into the cold air. The contrast between the pristine Arctic wilderness and this heavy industry was jarring. It's a powerful symbol of the modern world clashing with ancient landscapes. Finally, we reached the water's edge. The moment was surreal. After years of planning, we were here. We took off our shoes and dipped our feet into the frigid Arctic Ocean. The cold was shocking, a jolt that went right through your bones. It was a baptism of sorts, a promise to the road ahead. We were committing ourselves to this epic journey. This single act connected us to the vastness of the American continents. From this frozen ocean, we would travel south through mountains, deserts, and jungles, all the way to the southern tip of the world. The adventure had officially begun. We are two artists, driven by a shared dream. Our names are Adam and Crystal. We didn't just want to see the world, we wanted to experience it. We wanted to connect with it. Our plan was bold and simple: drive the entire length of the Pan-American Highway. From the icy shores of Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, all the way to Ushuaia, Argentina. It is one of the longest and most challenging roads on Earth. This journey was about more than just travel. It was about art, community, and pushing our own limits. We wanted to document the journey, not just with photos, but with collaborative art projects in the communities we visited along the way. Our home for this journey would be a converted school bus. We found a 2003 Thomas Saff T-liner, a big yellow beast that had spent its life carrying children to school. We saw its potential. It was a blank canvas. We named her Gorda, a term of endearment. Our vision was to transform this bus into a self-sufficient tiny home on wheels. It needed to be tough enough to handle the roughest roads the Americas could throw at us. It needed to be a comfortable home, a creative studio, and a reliable vehicle all in one. This bus wasn't just a mode of transport, it was the key to our freedom. The plan was clear in our minds. We would start in the north, in the summer. We would drive south with the changing seasons, chasing warm weather. We imagined a smooth, continuous journey. We would cross deserts, climb mountains, and navigate bustling cities. We pictured ourselves painting murals with local children in Mexico, learning from artisans in Peru, and camping under the stars in Patagonia. The reality, as we would soon learn, is never as neat as the plan. Life on the road is unpredictable. It throws curveballs when you least expect them. Our journey would be shaped by forces far beyond our control. But at the beginning, the dream was everything. It was the fuel that kept us going through long nights of planning and hard days of work. The idea of waking up to a new view every day was intoxicating. The thought of connecting with people from different cultures and sharing our art was our driving purpose. We knew there would be challenges. We knew there would be breakdowns, both mechanical and emotional. But the call of the open road was stronger than any fear. We were ready to trade comfort and stability for a life of adventure, uncertainty, and incredible discovery. The oil beneath Prudhoe Bay is ancient. It is a legacy of a much warmer time. Millions of years ago, this Arctic region was a shallow sea teeming with life. Tiny marine organisms like plankton and algae lived and died in these waters. When they died, their bodies sank to the ocean floor. They were buried under layers of sand and silt. Over millions of years, the immense pressure and heat from the Earth's crust cooked these organic remains. This geological process transformed them into the hydrocarbons we know as crude oil and natural gas. This black gold became trapped in porous rock formations, waiting to be discovered. Extracting this oil is a massive undertaking. The industry at Prudhoe Bay is a marvel of modern engineering. It has to operate in one of the harshest environments on the planet. Temperatures can drop to extreme lows, and the ground is permanently frozen, a condition known as permafrost. The infrastructure is built on stilts to prevent the heat from the buildings and pipelines from melting the ground beneath. This constant battle against the elements is a testament to human ingenuity, but this ingenuity comes at a cost. The very substance they are extracting is contributing to a rapid change in the environment they are trying to master. The connection between this oil and the changing climate is impossible to ignore, especially here. The burning of fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This CO2 acts like a blanket, trapping heat and warming the planet. And the Arctic is warming at a rate 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the world. We could see the effects firsthand. The Arctic ice cap, which we could see from the shore, is shrinking. Scientists tell us it is getting smaller and thinner every year. This has devastating consequences for the animals that depend on the ice, like polar bears and seals, and for the global climate system. Standing there, at the source of so much of this oil, the irony was thick. The energy that powered our bus, that would carry us on this grand adventure, was the same energy contributing to the melting of the very landscape we were in. It's a complex and uncomfortable truth. We are all part of this system. Our journey was a personal quest, but it was also tied to these bigger global issues. It made us think deeply about our own impact and the choices we make. The journey from Alaska to Argentina was not just a line on a map. It was a journey through the heart of the climate crisis. Transforming a retired school bus into a livable, off-grid home was an epic project in itself. It was a test of our skills, our patience, and honestly, our relationship. We gutted the entire bus, tearing out the old seats, the rubber flooring, and all the interior panels until we were left with a hollow metal tube. From there, we had to build everything from scratch. We spent countless hours planning the layout, figuring out where the bed, kitchen, and storage would go. Every single inch of space had to be used efficiently. It was like this never-ending puzzle of plumbing, wiring, and carpentry. Neither of us were experts, so we learned as we went. We insulated the walls and ceiling to protect us from both the cold of the Arctic and the heat of the desert. We installed solar panels on the roof to power our lights, fridge, and electronics. We built a kitchen with a sink, a stove, and a countertop made from reclaimed wood. We constructed a bed platform that also served as a garage for our gear underneath. It was a slow and painstaking process. There were moments of frustration, like when a measurement was wrong or a tool broke. We made mistakes and had to redo our work. It took way longer and cost more than we ever anticipated. But we were not alone. Our community of friends and family rallied around us. They offered their skills, their tools, and their encouragement. Friends who were electricians helped us with the complex wiring. Family members helped us with the heavy lifting and the endless sanding and painting. People brought us meals when we were too exhausted to cook. This support was really the foundation upon which our bus was built. It was a powerful reminder that no great adventure is ever a solo effort. Our home on wheels became a symbol of our community's love and belief in our dream. After more than a year of relentless work, Gorda was finally ready. She was no longer just a bus, she was our home. Every screw, every piece of wood, every wire held a story of hard work and collaboration. Standing back and looking at the finished product filled us with an immense sense of pride and accomplishment. We had built this. With our own hands, we had created the vessel that would carry us on the adventure of a lifetime. The bus was more than just a vehicle. It was the first major challenge of our journey, and we had overcome it. We were finally ready to go. The bus was finished, our belongings were packed, and our route was planned. We were aiming for a spring 2020 departure. And then the world stopped. The COVID-19 pandemic swept across the globe. Borders slammed shut. The Canadian border, our gateway to Alaska, became impassable. Our grand plan, years in the making, was put on hold indefinitely. It was a devastating blow. The uncertainty was the hardest part. We didn't know if the borders would open in a month, a year, or longer. Our dream felt like it was slipping through our fingers. We had a choice to make. We could wait, putting our lives on pause, or we could adapt. We chose to adapt. If we couldn't go north, we would explore our own backyard. We spent the next 2 years living and traveling in our bus throughout the lower 48 states of the US and Baja, Mexico. This was not the journey we had planned, but it became a journey in its own right. It taught us how to live in a small space, how to be self-sufficient, and how to find adventure wherever we were. This unexpected detour became a crucial training ground for the bigger journey ahead. This time also allowed us to develop the community art aspect of our project. We started a project called the Nomadic Mural, a collaborative painting that traveled with us on the bus. At each stop, we would invite people to add their own touch to the canvas. Strangers became collaborators. People from all walks of life, children, fellow travelers, local residents, painted alongside us. The mural grew into a vibrant tapestry of different styles and stories. It was a visual representation of the connections we were making on the road. It became a way to bridge divides and create something beautiful together, even in a time of social distancing. These pandemic years were a lesson in patience and resilience. They forced us to slow down and appreciate the journey, not just the destination. We formed deep friendships with other travelers who were also stranded. We discovered hidden gems in our own country that we might have otherwise overlooked. We learned that community can be found anywhere if you are open to it. When the borders finally reopened, we were not the same people who had planned to leave in 2020. We were more experienced, more resilient, and had a deeper understanding of what our journey was really about. The delay had been a gift in disguise. The day the news came that the Canadian border was reopening felt like a dream. After 2 long years of waiting, the path to Alaska was clear. The excitement was electric. We packed up Gorda one last time and pointed her north. Driving into Canada felt like a massive victory. It was a huge milestone. The journey through British Columbia and the Yukon was just stunning. The landscapes grew wilder and more epic with every mile. The mountains got bigger, the rivers wider, and the forests denser. We were finally on our way. The dream was alive again. Crossing into Alaska was an emotional moment. We had worked towards this for so long. The Welcome to Alaska sign was more than just a marker on the road. It was a symbol of our perseverance. We had made it. Our plan was to drive to Prudhoe Bay, officially start our Pan-American journey, and then immediately head south before the harsh winter set in. We arrived in late summer, with the autumn colors just beginning to paint the landscape. The air was crisp, and the days were getting shorter. We were just passing through, or so we thought. But Alaska has a way of getting under your skin. We fell in love with it, hard and fast. The raw, untamed beauty of the wilderness was captivating. We were mesmerized by the scale of everything, the towering mountains, the vast glaciers, the endless tundra. We saw bald eagles, moose, and grizzly bears. The pull of this wild place was too strong to resist. Our plan to quickly turn around and head south began to fade. We met locals who shared stories of the Alaskan winter, of the northern lights, and of the unique community that thrives in this extreme environment. Instead of leaving, we decided to stay. 1 week turned into a month, and a month turned into a whole season. We found a place to park the bus and decided to experience a full Alaskan winter. Our journey to Argentina was put on hold once again, but this time it was by choice. We spent the next 2 years living in Alaska, embracing the cold and the dark. We learned to cross-country ski, we watched the aurora borealis dance across the night sky, and we became part of a small, tight-knit community. Alaska taught us to embrace the unexpected and to let the journey unfold at its own pace. After 2 years of calling Alaska home, it was time to complete the first leg of our journey. It was time to conquer the legendary James W. Dalton Highway. This is the road to Prudhoe Bay. It's a 414-mile stretch of mostly gravel road that cuts through some of the most remote and unforgiving wilderness in North America. It was built to service the Trans-Alaska Pipeline and the oil fields. It's a lifeline for the industry, and it is not a road for the faint of heart. There are no services for a 240-mile stretch. If you break down here, you're truly on your own. Driving this road is a serious undertaking. The drive was brutal and beautiful in equal measure. The bus rattled and shook on the rough gravel. Dust filled the air. We passed giant trucks, the kings of this road, hauling supplies north. They kick up rocks that can shatter a windshield in an instant. The landscape was just breathtaking. We drove past the mighty Yukon River, crossed the Arctic Circle, and climbed over the Brooks Range, the northernmost mountain range on the continent. The trees disappeared, and the landscape opened up into the vast rolling tundra of the North Slope. We saw herds of caribou and a lone musk ox, ancient creatures perfectly adapted to this harsh world. Reaching Deadhorse, the industrial camp that services Prudhoe Bay, felt like arriving on another planet. It's a town built for work, not for comfort. It's a collection of modular buildings, heavy machinery, and gravel lots. It is a place where nature and industry exist in a tense coexistence. We met other travelers here, all drawn to the end of the road for their own reasons. There was a biker from Germany, a family in an RV, and a solo adventurer in a small Jeep. We shared stories and a sense of camaraderie. We had all faced the challenge of the Dalton and made it. The Arctic is predictably unpredictable. On our way back south, we hit a massive blizzard. The snow came down so hard we could barely see the road in front of us. The temperature plummeted. Then our bus started having mechanical problems. The engine was struggling. We limped our way to the small outpost of Coldfoot, worried we might be stranded for days or weeks. It was a stark reminder of how quickly things can go wrong out here. This leg of the journey tested our vehicle, our preparation, and our nerve. It was the perfect, challenging start to an adventure that will take us to the other end of the earth. The road south to Argentina now lies ahead, full of unknown challenges and incredible possibilities.